Dr. Weimer, tell us a little bit about your perspective of where we are in the economic recovery, particularly from the standpoint of jobs.
So really we've had no recovery. Normally after these downturns you get a period of supernormal growth. GDP growth on the order of 5 or 6%. And payrolls growing monthly 250,000, maybe 300,000. You really have a powerful economy as Americans are being put back to work. We haven't had any of that. We had a collapse and we've been around 11% below normal trend growth in employment for 3 or 4 years. The unemployment rate has gone down, but if you look at the employment to population ratio, it's been completely steady. It went down a lot and completely steady, meaning that the labor market is very, very troubled.
Do you see that changing at all, in particular in California?
Well, this is the critical issue, is what is it that caused that, and therefore what's our take on what comes next? And it's definitely the case that housing has been late to the recovery party and is now starting to contribute, so we think that we can be a bit more optimistic about the next year consequent of housing. But still, our take on this is that we have a workforce development problem, that we have too many Americans who have been displaced by computers and robots, and they don't have the skills to command decent wages in this post-industrial world that we're in.
So from a standpoint of how that plays out in the housing market, I would assume you think that the demand is going to be an issue.
Yeah, I think maybe not total demand, but the structure of demand is going to be very different in the 21st century. In the 20th century, especially in the 60s and to some extent the 50s, people at every level of the income distribution had huge increases in compensation, and it made them feel comfortable about buying a home. But the 21st century has this bifurcated economy, in which there are some people who just make extraordinary returns, who are the creative people who can really use that microprocessor, that technology to create value, and a lot of other people who are kind of competing against the computer trying to do the same kinds of tasks, and they're left behind. So you got to position your business with that realization that you're going to have some high-wage individuals who want extraordinary homes, and a large number of people who are not going to be able to afford homes at all.
So the assumption I have to make then is that we're going to see a continuation of a movement a little bit out of home ownership towards rentals, or am I oversimplifying?
You know, I think in terms of the fraction of the population, there's pressure to have more rental units. It's definitely the case. But I would say the critical thing isn't the question of ownership. The critical thing is the expense. So the thing about a multi-unit dwelling is that the amount of land that you implicitly own or use is a whole lot less than if you have a single-family home. It's the land that's expensive. Right. So I would expect to see more multi-family units. Some of them would be condos and some of them would be rental apartments.
And pressure on housing and rental prices.
And we're thinking that we're going to have economic growth. It's not huge, but we're still growing, and there's going to be more and more upward pressure on rents because we haven't created homes. Our home building is still below normal. We're not having enough homes for the new households that are being created, and that inevitably is going to lead to rent appreciation and housing price appreciation as well.